Explain some new features of Estimate Master 4.0 on the Mac platform. One of them is the import data utility, which you get to from the preferences screen. This allows you a quick start to bring in data files, text data files, and to populate your Estimate Master database. So what I'm going to do now is I've started from an empty database. Everything's blank. There's nothing in it. I'm going to go click on Import Data Utility button on the right corner. Now at this point, on the lower left, I'm going to choose the file with has the import data, and I'm going to choose this particular file. Click on Open, and this is the contents of the file. This is a CSV file, .csv text file, which means it's a comma delimited file with a new line at the end of each line, and I can change these characters with these drop downs here. So I'm going to leave it by default. It's set up for .csv. It tells you what kind of, when you open it, it tells you what kind of file it is. It supports Unicode, standard Unicode file, which is pretty much the standard for everything nowadays. So I've done that, and normally on a CSV file you'll see the first line will be the header names. So take a look at that first line. That's what your header names are called. So I'm going to first of all pick one of the four categories: parts and materials, labor, parts and materials, subcontractors, or customers. So I want to pick parts and materials for this example. I'm going to click the import button, and then at this point you can choose to import everything, which is it's set up for by default, or I can pick just a part of the file, certain types, for example. But in this case, I'm going to just input everything. Then I assign the column names at the top: code, vendor, description, price per unit type, weight. That's Estimate Master field. So on the drop down below are the header names in the first line in the file here. So I'm going to assign these like so. Okay, then that's all. Let's click Save to Database. Now it's saving it, populating the actual Estimate Master database with these with this data. Now, whatever is in the estimate database, in this case is nothing, but there might be something. In this case, it just adds to it. So it tells you we added 302 items. So let's get out of the utility. Let's go to parts and materials. Now we see it. So if this looks the way you want it, you're good. If you decide you made the wrong assignments, let's go back and look at it again. Go back into it, and I go to parts and materials. I can click there's a button called Remove Inserted Items. If you decide you want to redo it, reassign it a different way, then click that button. Everything you just added goes away. Otherwise, you're done. So let's assume it's good. Go back to parts and materials. When it adds the materials, it adds the unit types on the right hand side that correspond to the materials on the left hand big grid. So just take a look at the unit types. Just click that button on the upper right here. On the right hand column are the types that came out of the text file. So I've got some duplicates. I've got EA for each. I've got EA, capital EA, and EACH. So I'd like to combine those three into just one type. So I'm going to click the combine button, and I'm going to click on each one like so, and then I'm going to choose the one I want to combine into. So I want to go into each. So I'll click that, and now it's combining. Okay, it didn't. Each EA and each didn't get combined, so I'm going to combine again. Each EA into each. Click OK. Okay, now all those types are still there, but they're all the same name. And this particular file also has hourly data, which is not a part material item, so I want to take that out as the HR. So I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to click on, in the big grid here, I'm going to click on unit and sort by HR. I'm going to remove all the HRs, because that's hourly, it's not part of parts and materials. So I'm just going to click on that line, click on the red X below the big grid. I think I'm going to start from the bottom up, it'll be easier. Let's get rid of all those. Do it carefully because you don't want to overshoot. Then we'll get rid of those. Go back into unit types again. Now, I couldn't delete the unit types because if there's something in the parts and materials list that's still in there, it won't let you delete the unit types because that wouldn't make sense. So that's why I deleted them from the parts and materials list first. So I click on HR and just click remove. Now it's gone. Okay, I've got some more similar types that are of different names. So like min, MIN, and uppercase MIN. I'm going to combine those. Click the combine button. Click min, MIN again. Combine into MIN. Now it's combining. Okay, then I've got some more combining to do. This XXX, which I believe is, I look at the file, also is another each. In other words, unit, individual, no length, no weight. So I'm going to combine those as well. I'm going to click combine again. Click on XXX, each, and combine XXX into each by clicking the each from the drop down and confirming. Now, okay, now I think I've got it the way I want it, but here's something to be aware of. When you do this parts and materials, everything is brought in as a type each. So if I click the right column here, you'll see when I click on it, it will show the three columns on the left are the combinations of types you can conceivably have in Estimate Master. So linear feet should be redefined as feet, because feet means you price it by the quantity and the number of feet. So I'm going to click on linear. I'm going to click on redefine first. Then I'm going to click linear feet on the right column, and then feet over here in the far left column, and click redefine again. Okay, now I've redefined it. Now if I click each, it's each. Linear feet now is, if you look on the left, it tells you it's redefined as feet is what you want. Because if you add it as a linear foot item as a type of each, it won't give you any length option. You want a length option if it's feet, obviously. So that's, we're done with that. Now if I go back and here's my database of all this stuff. Now these can be added to estimates just by clicking the right arrow. Now let's go back and input, using that same file, let's import the hourly rate items. So let's go back to preferences, import data utility, choose file, same file again. This time I'm going to click on the upper right labor task. I'm going to click import. Now here I only want the HR types because that's what if you look at the file you realize that's hourly rate. So I'm going to click on, and that happens to be unit type, I believe. This is the last, second from the last column. Okay, so and I just type in HR because that's what it shows in the file, like so. Now when I save the database, it's going to save database items but only the HR unit types. Let's do that. Oh, I forgot to sign these. Let's sign it again. These assignments essentially. Now the hours is actually the shows up as a price column, so we'll assign that as price. You have to look at the text and determine what the headers are, the first row headers mean. In this case, that's right. Yeah, rate would be, no, hours would be, hours would be units, excuse me, I believe that's right. And then rate would be price. You have to kind of experiment with this. You can always, so now I've got it set up. Let's see how it looks when we're done. Let's save it. Oh, it's saving. Okay. It added 22 labor items, so let's get out of this. Go to labor. And then you see it populated both the labor tasks and the big grid, and the smaller one are the rates. So if I filter on these, you can see which ones. It looks like it came out the way we wanted to. So looks like we got hourly rates out of the same file as well as parts and materials. Now we can add, now that you've got labor, you can add those to the estimates. You can add parts to the estimate, materials to the estimates, and you can build assemblies from this by creating assemblies, which is another tutorial. But that shows you how the input data works. I didn't cover customers and subcontractors, but that's really straightforward. It's the same process exactly. Choose the customers, choose the file, import, and then just make your assignments. Contractors is exactly the same. So that's a nice utility. We have an Estimate Master 4.